no one on this planet gets it right. Like all of us are literally just making it up.
Everyone.
Like
100%. 100%. Nobody's got it fucking figured out.
We're back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
No one's letting you forget in the club. That is for fucking sure.
Are you in lots and lots of pain? How bad is the pain? Fuck you fucking asshat.
Having fun dancing in the floor.
Number one, why am I calling you? Number two, you ruined everything.
Oh, so good. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we've got a three-way.
Wow.
Yummy.
What a
Yep,
way to start.
Club Unhinged three-way. Julian, you are in for a wild, wild time, my friend. We are so excited to have you here. Yeah, with the two of us and you.
Yeah. No, it's good to be here. That started off with a bang. Was not expecting that, but hey. Expect the unexpected, I'm guessing.
Yep, facts. But I mean, this is Club Unhinged. We have a very unhinged podcast. Our titles are off the rails, and you come in for an interview, it's going to be a three-way. So it's just that. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
Let's go. So for everyone who doesn't know who Julian Haig is, well, here he is. And you and I, we met in 2017, actually, in our local, what is now the grocery store. But back then it was a coffee shop and a little bit of a grocery store, but mostly a coffee shop and mostly like a hangout. And you were there with your cousin, I think. And you were both reading books that I noticed. I was there with my friend Trevor. And Trevor went to the bathroom, and I look over and I see these two dudes and like the books that they're reading. And I think the book that you were reading was one that I had just finished. And then we started chatting.
Yeah.
And well, the rest is history. We were like, basically we just need to be BFFs forever. And that's what's going to happen.
That was basically it.
Yeah.
I remember the book. It was To Be a Man.
Right.
And I was reading it because I bought it as a present for someone else. And I never actually read it. I only read like the first chapter. So I should go find that book and read it because the first chapter was good.
It's a really good book. It's a really good book.
Okay. Yeah. And like To Be a Man, that's good of you to read that, but probably better for me to read than you, being a man.
Well, maybe 7 years later, it's the time. These things happen. Maybe now's the time. We don't want to force things to occur before they're ready to occur.
Can we just chat about that coffee shop for a second, because they ruined the vibe there. Let's not name names.
100% they did.
I'll name it. I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. I don't even live in Kits, and I know exactly. That's where Mark Groves and I had our first get together. Yeah. And it was a vibe, and now it's
It's no vibe.
No vibe now. It's just a grocery store now. There's no energy to it at all.
Don't worry, listeners. We're gonna link the direct name in the show notes.
And a Google pin.
And a Google pin.
Just so they can stop by and be like, yeah, this doesn't have a vibe.
This doesn't have a vibe at all.
It really has no vibe.
It sucks.
Yeah. And it was like such a hub for community and being able to link up with like-minded people and just have a coffee and have a chat. And it really was this beautiful place for everyone to converge. And now there's just a lack of connection. Yeah, it was. And now we got to find other places to go.
There's actually plenty. Yeah, there's plenty of other coffee shops.
Hey guys, this is a real fucking Debbie Downer conversation.
I know.
What the fuck are we talking about right now? Let's bring this fucking
vibe.
This fucking vibe.
Oh yeah, let's get that out of here.
You know what it is? It just started raining today, and it's probably just that's the vibe, the lack of vibe. So let's bring it up. Where are we up to?
Well, let's have a little chit chat about who you are.
Okay, sure, I'm down.
The thing is that y'all might not know is that Julian is a very talented actor. And I feel very honored to have been part of your journey these last 7 years, to see like where you started from the point of us being friends and where you've ended up now. And there's just been so many cool twists and turns to your story. And I definitely want to get into that whole journey today, because I think people can have this belief that success happens overnight. And really, it's this consistent, diligent burn, like slow burn. Like, I'm going to show up for myself, and I'm going to show up for my craft, even if the results aren't resulting, even if like I don't see the payoff here. And like, let's just start with what inspired you to even step into acting. Was that always something that you felt drawn to, or was there a turning point in your life that you're like, this is the thing?
It's almost like too big a question to be able to answer succinctly, because it's just like so many things.
Excellent.
In my
Tell
life.
us all of it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's got to start with my family. My dad was a script writer. He produced some things. He directed some things. My favorite, and my sister's sort of similar in this. Like, our favorite claim to fame was he wrote BMX Bandits, which was which was Nicole Kidman's first movie, and it's sort of a cult classic in Australia, and I love it. It's basically one big chase scene with these kids on bikes and these crooks and everything. It's so good. Anyway, so yeah, Dad was in the industry, and I don't know. I think a bit of that is just through osmosis, that you can't help but want to be a part of what your parents have been a part of. Um, and Mum's a creative as well. She's a painter, and she's just never stopped painting. And my sister is an actress. And then growing up, I was the tennis player. I was the I was, yeah. And then I went and did sports science at uni, and I was the person that was going to kind of like break the mold and not be a crazy artist or whatever. Um, and I think a big part of what I actually loved about tennis was entertaining people. And yeah, I loved whenever there was people watching and I could hit big shots and get pumped up and everything. And I love going to watch the tennis now. I go to the Australian Open almost every year, and it's just it's an entertaining sport, and there's such emotional roller coasters, especially if you're watching Nick Kyrgios. But I love that. Like, I love seeing him play because it is like that, and it's so entertaining. He's so entertaining. Um, and yeah, there was definitely times growing up where I loved um uh drama, but yeah, for me, I think it was I really, really liked um a lot of the improv and comedy, especially. And I'm trying to cut a long story short, guys, because this is my entire life. This is my entire life we're talking about.
Sum it up in 5 minutes, Julian. Let's go.
Jesus. Yeah, and then I think there was a point where there was lots of times where I was being pointed in the direction of acting, um, where I was just like kind of avoiding it. And we can get into more of this side of things too, where it's just like I was too scared to even dip my toes in. And the first thing I started doing where I was putting myself out there, I was at uni in Perth, and there was this opportunity to do this modeling contest thing. And I was just lucky that I had a lot of mates over there that just thought they just had a bit of a different mentality to like what I was used to. And it was, instead of just being like, no, like swim in your own lane, like don't don't do anything that's too out there. They were just like, you should be the face of Coca-Cola. They still tell me this. You should be the face of Coca-Cola. Go do that. Like, what are you doing? Like, here, go do that kind of thing. And they were just always encouraging me, and yeah, kind of pumping up my tires, which is rare in Australia. I think it's getting better, but we've got the whole tall poppy syndrome thing. So we tend to not want people to do too bigger things. And I think that period of time really helped me get out of my comfort zone. But at this time, I'm already like 20. So went and did this modeling thing and then started doing more of that. And at this time, my sister has already finished at acting school, and then she's starting to be in a few shows and a movie here and there. And then I was traveling with modeling at the time. I was overseas, and she booked a big American show called Fringe, which was shooting in Vancouver actually.
I love
And
that show, by the way.
it's so good. The
It's
whole
so
show.
good.
I started
So
watching
good.
it when she got on there, so I watched from from episode 1, and it's really really good. And then she was in the final season, and she did like 8 episodes, I think. But it was her first big break in the US, and it kind of just like shifted my psyche a bit. I just went from thinking like, oh, it was before that, it was like it's too hard to do acting. Like, what are the odds kind of thing? It shifted it to, oh, it's possible. You can do it. Like there's evidence right there. My sister is literally doing it. And even now when people just I was playing pickleball the other day, and this lady's just like, "Oh, my daughter's getting into acting, but I keep telling her to get a real job." And I'm like, "You're talking to an actor." It's just such a funny thing to say. And then, I'm lucky that I've got evidence right there where I can be like, "Oh, well, my sister's done really well with it," and blah blah blah. I've always been able to kind of use that as a bit of a backup, because it is tough when people say you want to be an artist. You say that to people, they'll often it's because it's not normal, and
Right.
it is very very hard. So people will give you their opinion on it, and it's tough when you just like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna keep flying blind with this thing and see how
I'm
I
just
go.
gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah. And another good response that even my sister uses this response, because people will be like, oh, geez, that's hard. And I'm sure like you guys can attest to this. Like everything's fucking hard. Like starting a gym, I'm sure Christine was fucking hard. Like
Blind. I
nearly.
had no fucking idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just want to name just really quick that I think that it is threatening sometimes to people who live a very traditional linear life, and they've been told that their dreams, like as likely at some point in their life, were too big or too much. And so sometimes it's easier to like shit on other people or project that onto them versus actually taking the leap, being bold and courageous and saying, I'm going to fucking go for it in this lifetime. But they've subscribed to the more traditional life. And it's very threatening, I think, when people come in and they say like, I've got these dreams, and it's like, I need to squash that comment because it makes me feel really uncomfortable. So
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel that very strongly in Vancouver. Weirdly, because it just feels like Vancouver has a lot of that, a lot of very, and it's tough here, it's expensive, blah, blah, blah. But like, just feels like a lot of people are doing the thing they're meant to be doing. As in the thing they've been told to do, or the safe thing. And I get it. Like, and part of me is just like, okay, like if that's fine. Like if you want to do that and that helps you have like peace and love and your family and everything, fine, do that. But what you're talking about too is like, then don't shit on other people for like getting after it. And yeah, it is funny when like we live here and there's such a big film industry here that there's still that mentality.
Yeah, it is a very interesting thing in this city. And I don't know, I think it probably, you're going to find those pockets in most cities too, of the people who literally, like Christine said, have abandoned themselves and abandoned their own heart and their own dream. And it is very challenging to stand face to face with someone who is really courageous and they're willing to put their butt on the line and go after what they want, even if there is an undetermined timeline. Like I feel that with music. There's so many people that are like, what do you mean you started doing music seriously in your late 30s? Like, well, I did. I wanted to, so I did. And that's kind of been my mentality my whole life, is like, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And, you know, starting a more serious music career in my 40s, like I understood the long game of it. I understood that just because I start writing songs today, I'm not necessarily going to have a cut, maybe ever, or maybe it's like 10 years down the road. And when that big break happens is not really the point. The point is the craft, it's the mastery, it's the devotion to my heart and the expression that wants to come through me. And I do want to footnote you, Jules, because you've been such a big part of that journey for me. When we first started hanging out, I was writing songs then, but they weren't super great songs. And I would get so in my head about writing the perfect song. And I remember we were hanging out.
I remember this.
Do
I
you
remember this time. Yes.
And you were over at my place and you're like, let's just write like the worst song we could ever write. And like, it was so revolutionary for me to think about just intentionally writing a shitty song. Like intentionally writing a song that made no sense, that maybe was terrible. And you have this very jovial, playful energy. I think it's the Leo in you. And like our Leos just like bounce off of each other. And so you going first and you showing me how you did that. And you literally just made up the most nonsensical song on the spot. And like, there was just so much freedom in your expression. And that's something that has really stuck with me for these last 7 years when I go into those writers' rooms, because sometimes it's not about writing the best song, it's about writing the song that wants to be written. And there's so many of these threads in the creative process that come up that most people just aren't willing to stay the course. Like they want like the instant result. They want like, I want to be the lead role in a blockbuster film, but I don't want to have to put in the grit and the methodical work that will get me there. And that's something that I see that you are just so deeply committed to. You know, you take acting classes, you take improv classes, like you're on the court with your gift, you're on the court with your dream. And just because, you know, it doesn't necessarily happen on the timeline of our ego or our mind, it doesn't mean we abandon ship. And you've been really dedicated to staying the course. And I think that's really beautiful. And you have these incredible results now to speak for themselves, which just makes me so proud as your friend. And it's also just such a beautiful thing that you're transmitting in the world through your artistry and through your way of being, that teaches people like, if you want something, you've got to put your butt on the line and you've got to stay the course. You can't just like show up all willy-nilly and then do it for 5 minutes and then get pissed off because the result isn't there. Like you've really got that dedication really nailed down. And I love that about you so much.
It kind of just makes me think about my dad some more, because he passed away a couple years ago, as you know. I don't know thing, but he just never stopped writing, and which was, you know, almost to a fault that he never stopped, that he was trying like he was in palliative care trying to talk about some movie, you know, some script that Russell Crowe needed to read or something, and we did manage to shift his attention to the present, you know, to like just, you know, what was happening in that moment and like connecting with everybody. But his funeral was incredible, and I was working at a gym at the time, and I remember the owner of the gym, she said to me a couple of days later at work or something, she was like, Julian, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but that was the best funeral I've ever been to. And she just made it kind of sound like a party, you know? And it wasn't that. It was because, you know, telling dad's story, like my sister did the eulogy, and telling dad's story, it was very inspirational because I think he, I don't think that he always followed his heart. I think like there are things that I can find where he struggled, but he he did have these big dreams and he did not lead a typical life like what we're sort of
Mhm.
talking about. He wasn't limited by that. Um, and yeah, looking back at his entire life, it was not, he had me when I was 50. Wait, sorry, when he had me when he was 50. So he was an older dad, and yeah, sometimes I do just sort of think about that, like, will I be happy if I've just pursued this, for forever and never really, you know, yeah, become like a big movie star and all that sort of stuff. Um, and I think this year it's not like everything you say about me. It's really heartwarming, and I can't help but feel like it's a nice picture to paint, but it's certainly not free of like doubt and
Of course.
yeah, and struggle and obstacles um, but that's also kind of what makes it wonderful. But yeah, that commitment, like when I decided to do this, it really felt like I made a commitment. And I remember Dad actually taught me that too. Like you should, when you make a commitment, you stick to it. And that was more in regards to like tennis stuff. Um, but yeah, I think when I do, because of course I'm going to also think about like, oh, should I do something else? Like, is this not working out? And because acting's so up and down. Last year
Mhm.
was great, was really busy. This year's been much more quiet, and you can't help it in those times just go, is this right for me? Am I meant to be doing this? And blah blah blah. Um, and then I guess I start thinking about like, oh, should I do this, this, this? And at the end of the day, it's just what I'm passionate about. If I can make money off my passion, then that's amazing. I've still got other things that give me purpose. Like I do work in fitness and I do that in between jobs and everything. And I love that because I get to work with people directly and I get to help people directly. And I still get to be me. I still get to come with purpose. I get to be a goofball. I get to I don't, I'm not like trying out new characters in class. Oh, borderline, actually.
Yeah, come on. Let's be real.
Yeah, maybe accents, not full blown characters. I'm not like going up to like, hey, I'm Bob, how are you? I'm like, I'm still me. But um, yeah, it is still, and yeah, Christine probably attests this too. Like coaching classes, there's like, there's something about that too that it is like an energy and it's a bigness. I think that's something that I thought about talking about with you guys today too. Is just like about bigness
Mm.
and I'm guessing like what that is to me is just like that authenticity and not waiting to be yourself and all that sort of stuff. And I find like with coaching, it I try and bring that approach. And there's a part of me that definitely doesn't want me to be big. It wants me to be not only small, probably hiding or invisible.
Mm.
One of those things. Um, and I find, yeah, getting to do coaching as a day job is is great for that. And then the acting stuff, and this is probably why it took me so long to get into acting and dip my toes in and then dive in. I didn't even dip my toes. I did just dive in the deep end. Um, it was terrifying to me to be in front of people and speak. And yeah, so it is nice to have these footnote moments as I think you call it
Mhm,
footnote.
mhm. Yeah.
um where it's you can kind of reflect a bit and go like, yeah, it is crazy how far I've come from being too scared to kind of speak, be on any kind of a stage and
Mhm.
speaking, to be in a class even with a bunch of other people in the same position, and speak, to like a lead of a movie, or even when I did like my bits on Riverdale, I was aware of how big that show was. And so,
Mhm.
that was challenging in moments and also very exciting. But like, moments of that was just like, this is crazy. Like, I'm sitting opposite Archie and Veronica, and I'm trying to intimidate these people, you know, like,
Sweet.
sitting in Pop's diner. It was just like an absolute spin out. And I still have those moments, Kelsey, of being on set where everything starts to feel rigid and I get a bit tight. And when I do remind myself, oh, like, just get this take wrong.
Mhm.
Just get this take wrong. All of a sudden, I loosen up, and that's kind of the great thing about film acting and TV is like, okay, if I do actually fuck this take, we've got another
Mhm.
one. We can
Mhm.
we can do another one.
Mhm.
But I know that for me, all that gives me is permission to play, and usually the take is better. I even did that on Riverdale once, and after I did the take, I thought it was bad, and so I was like, kind of looking around, like, are we going to go again? Like, that was obviously bad. And then the other actors on set were like, whoa, dude, that was good, dude. And I was like, what?
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like, you don't, as an actor, if you're busy in your head during the scene, judging the scene and trying to direct yourself, it's not, it's not great. Like, that,
Mhm.
So that's why you have a director. That's why you've
100%.
got you've got people watching the monitors and stuff.
Mm.
And I feel like that really translates even with the women in the club. Like every time you try and get your life right and you're trying to do it right and you don't give yourself permission to be messy, like that's when it gets like really cranked around and that's when it stops feeling good. But when we can give ourselves that permission slip, whether it's, acting or you're in a hard conversation with your partner, and you give yourself that permission to be messy, you give yourself permission to get it wrong, knowing that there is always a spot for a do-over, and like no one on this planet gets it right. Like all of us are literally just making it up. Like
Everyone.
100%. 100%. Nobody's got it fucking figured out. If there's anything I know, I mean, I've worked with some very high profile clients and I'm going in thinking like, holy fuck, who am I to coach them sometimes? I'm like, you have a fucking multi-million-dollar business, or you've got this, or you've got this. And I get up in my head, I meet them and it's like the same fucking shit. People have everyone has their own blocks. Everyone wants to be seen and heard and loved and appreciated for who the fuck they are. And that's it. And they want to know that even if they fuck up, they're still going to be loved. They're still going to be accepted. Like it's the same fucking shit. That's all they want to know. It's like, if I'm bad or if I fuck up, will you still love me? Will you still be my friend? Will you still, whatever it is? And I think we're so similar as humans. And I think we feel like we're so far apart, and we're not. Like you said, doesn't matter what we're doing. And I love, Julian, your vulnerability around bringing some light and some vulnerability to the acting space, because I think as from the outside in, you look at actors, you look at, that life of, let's say, glitz and glamour and travel and all these pieces. And I think it's really easy to project or to feel like, oh, they have it all together. It's so easy for them. They must think they're the hottest thing on the planet, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I think that there's a lot of pedestaling. There's a lot of pedestaling that people do with actors or actresses. I think there's a ton of that. And I think it puts a lot of pressure to be a certain way. Right. And I love that you're bringing some vulnerability and openness to that space. And I could see you like even doing, I don't know, I'd love to learn more about what you're considering, like other things that would feel really fun for you to pursue in this lifetime. Because I was like sitting here and I'm like, don't channel stuff because I'm already feeling there's certain things coming in. I'm like,
Hang on, what was that? Don't channel.
no,
what?
I just
Oh,
no,
God.
I just when I sit with people, like I can like kind of like download people's like soul blueprint and like what they're here to do. And even as we're sitting here, I'm watching you talk and I'm like, oh God, yeah, I can see this. Yeah, okay, I can see him on this podcast. Does he have a podcast? Like there's like all these things coming in. I'm like, just turn that off, turn the channel, the psychic channel off. But I'm so curious to know do you mind sharing like some of the other things that have popped in for you around like other ideas or things that you'd love to pursue in addition to acting? Obviously, you have a successful career in acting, but are there things that are sort of like front in mind right now for you?
There was actually potentially a podcast idea recently.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that basically. But when it popped up, I was like, oh yeah, I could see myself doing that. That would be great. And it might just be a bit of a timing thing. Right now might not be the exact right time. But the sort of podcasts that I usually, it's basically there's two main ones, and one's called The Imperfects, and it's in Australia, and it's yeah, it's all about imperfection, kind of exactly what you were getting at, about they wanted to have people on there whose lives would be seemingly perfect, and then talk about like their vulnerability. And you're exactly right, like there's so much pedestaling, thinking that those people are perfect and don't have any issues. And it's a great seemingly safe container for those people to come in and just talk about the their struggles and things they've been going through. And I just I love that. And I do think when it comes to acting, I think the best acting is when people can put their vulnerability into the character. And it's very hard to do, because we want the ego wants us to be seen a certain way, wants us to be seen as maybe perfect or big and strong and tough or whatever. Like if my ego, if my ego was to pick the dream role for me to play, it would probably be like Superman or some superhero or whatever. But the artist in me, or the true self, it is more the real character, and the more the broken man. And that that's probably more challenging. um and even what I even find some of the more hallmarky rom-com stuff challenging as well, because it's really hard to, it's also quite vulnerable to be just really happy and 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 put that amount of like love and light into a project. And I've actually been thinking about that the last couple of days, about how I want to do more of that actually. I've had the chance to do a bit of it, but it just, you know what, I'm there's just so much crazy shit going on in the industry at the moment. I'm just like, you know what, I'm happy with a Christmas rom-com right now.
Mhm.
That
Me too.
would be, yeah, that's fine by me. um and okay, so other things, I've been playing a lot of pickleball over the summer. And yeah, so my tennis skills have translated across quite nicely. And
Of course.
and I can't help but think like, oh, should I try and play some tournaments and stuff? So I think I'm gonna try and enter some tournaments. And it's also great. It's got me like way more aerobically fit as well. So that's been a new passion as well. And and then yeah, like still, I'm not sure exactly what's, the fitness stuff I'm going to keep doing. Um, but I have also been thinking about, I need to, I've got a few like script ideas and show ideas that I've sort of fleshed out a little bit, that need a bit more attention and love. Um, and I never thought I would do that, you guys. Like,
Mm.
watching my dad do that, like watching him growing up, like I go into his office and he'd be sitting there typing. And in what world would you do that? It's like, I would just much rather be doing something like, even if it's like, I don't know, sport, yes, or mucking around or playing Nintendo or whatever. Like, I did not get how he could just sit there and type away. And then when I first started writing some things, I was like, oh, I get it now. Like,
Mhm.
you're just fleshing out this whole world in your head, and you are like when you're creating something from scratch, like you are God and you are making that whole thing, and it's so fun, challenging as well. And yeah, and when I do it, actually, like coming back to music, Kels, I use like I can't help but use music and picture like what music would be in it, and then the music inspires the scenes a bit. I also can't help but for things to end up a bit comedic, like things need to be a bit nuts or silly. So I don't know. I don't know if you read that in my blueprint, Christine, but if you could also manifest an Oscar for Best Picture, that'd be great.
Totally. No, I don't know. I saw a podcast as soon as you started talking. I was like, I can see you on a big podcast talking about vulnerability, authenticity. I think that acting is a great gateway for you to have the, for people to know you and see you. I see you directing for sure, like writing and directing, super raw, gritty, really like deep. It's got the raw grittiness, but it's also got the love infused. And I think that's a piece that you're probably walking through the fire of yourself right now, is what I keep it. It's like you're walking through the grit and the like that like grittiness, and then you're like stepping in. You said the hallmark piece around like, because Kelsey and I were recently talking about how holding excitement and holding good things in our system has actually been extremely dysregulating, and that's something that we're both working on, is allowing good things to be in our lives and not pushing them away, because the more we learn about the nervous system, it's like even really good things can be extremely dysregulating, and so it can actually kick up the same reaction as if like shame or fear is on board. And so we've been playing with that a little bit, but that for a lot of people, that's things like love as well, or intimacy, or pieces like that. It can kick up that really big dysregulation within us. And so I just kind of,
Yeah.
we're talking about, sorry.
I heard this. No, I was going to say, I heard this recently too, and I can't remember. I think it was on a podcast.
Oh, really?
I can't remember who, talking about, just, yeah, that like, unconditional love can be a trigger for all sorts of things. And yeah, I was catching up with Ant about this, Kels, my cousin, for everyone's listening. About just how uncomfortable I get sometimes when someone does something for me, just really with no like conditions to it, no strings attached, just like, no, it's just like a coffee. They'll buy me a coffee and I'll just be like, no, like, no, you don't have to do that, like, and I'm just like, oh. And if it's bigger, the bigger it is, it's more just like, it's so uncomfortable. And Christine, you're exactly right about like walking through the grittiness. Yeah, this year has been gritty for sure, and very uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm getting through it, and there's some light at the end of the tunnel, which is nice, fucking relief. But and a lot of that is definitely grief, and I mean, big chunk of it's also just like being 36 and not and feeling and comparison, I guess, as well, like looking at other people's lives, and just, it's the same thing, I'm pedestaling people too. But it's definitely nice to just kind of be getting back to like basics a little bit at the moment. And I'm not gonna fully dive into like everything that I would go through with my therapist, but
oh, come on.
Come on. Just use this as a therapy session. We love you.
Started when I was 5. No, probably earlier. Yeah. So yeah, the nice thing is that I know that like the fog, the clarity only comes after the fog. So there has definitely been a lot of fog this year. And so it's nice to be getting through to some clarity and everything. Yeah.
I love that. And something really quick I just want to share is, it just popped in a question I loved asking myself, because I've been through many dumpster fire moments and like initiations, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And just like nothing makes sense, super foggy. And I remember there's this question, it's like, rather than saying like, why me? It's like, what is this preparing me for? And I always really loved like it, like I find it, with really powerful people, when we go through big initiations, it's because we're being prepared for something, and we sometimes don't know exactly what that is or what it looks like, right? We don't know, it's like, why, rather than saying like, well, why the fuck is this happening to me, or why is the acting slow, or why is whatever's going on for us, it's like, what is this preparing me for, and like, what is this year of grit? Like, because again, we can only hold the level of expansion that we can, like the floor. If we can hold the floor, we can hold the ceiling, right? So it's like, oftentimes I think we get put through these like initiations because it's preparing us. Like, if you said your voice, you said being seen, like all these things have been really uncomfortable for you. So sometimes when you're kind of slammed down and you're like taken into these like places where non-truth is being held, right? Obviously, because you said you love to shine, you love to play tennis, it sounds like you love to perform for people.
You're a Leo, for crying out loud.
Yeah, like you're
born, the sun.
Yeah.
You're born to shine. So I think sometimes when we're taken into the dark, there's a purpose. All I sense is like there's some purpose. Like you do walk through that because it makes you a different man. It makes you a different person, right? When you walk through those fires and you come out on the other side, there's like great strength with that. And I just sense you're probably being prepared for something much bigger.
Yeah, the duality of all of it it's a bit much at times, to be honest, but like, yeah, like to have within me at the same time, like such a scared little person or parts of me that are trying to control me and keep me invisible, whilst at the same time, yeah, being this like larger than life character. It is nuts. Something that's definitely felt very freeing and terrifying for the last couple of years is I have been doing more improv classes, and as part of those classes, it's great we get to do showcases as well in front of big, decent sized audiences actually. And yeah, it's very, very scary. And the first one I did, well, because you're going up there and there's no lines. Like the script there's some safety in the script, as well. Like knowing that what you're going to say, there's some safety in that. Getting up there and not knowing what is going to happen is so scary. I don't know what character I'm about to be in 5 seconds. Someone could make me their mum. And they have. It's terrifying. And yeah, the first showcase I did, I think I was terrified for 2 days leading up to it. I was just so much nervous energy for 2 days. And almost having kind of somewhat out of body experiences doing the shows. And that is a part of me just being like, this isn't safe, but I'm still up there getting through it. And a part of me is still holding me safe. And it's a friendly crowd, and everyone's in the same boat, And now the last show that we did, that last show, or maybe last two shows, were the first times that I really felt safe on stage and felt safe, and just felt, yeah, present the whole time, which was great because it's much more fun. But I probably couldn't have got there if I hadn't gone through, that stuff and that fire before. And yeah, now it's just a matter of like, it doesn't, that fear just for me doesn't really go away, but it's now just a bit more excitement, and I can back it up with more craft. And I'll also say that, like, with acting, what's great is you can be a scared character. If you can channel literally what you're feeling into the character. And often, I've got to put down an audition after this. The guy is terrified in the scene, so I can relate to that. I can probably find some of that. But man, like, yeah, if anyone, I'm a big advocate for the arts and for acting. But yeah, if anyone wants to dip their toes and give something a shot, where it's such a great way to connect with people, is improv and doing an improv class. And there's usually places where you can just do a drop-in class, and it's a beginner class. And what I've found is that people in this city, and I'm sure it's everywhere, but in particular here, they talk about how hard it is to make friends and how hard it is to date and everything like that. And what I've found with improv classes is because at the start it's like how everyone is scared to talk to each other and scared to put themselves out there and scared to make a move or whatever. And then halfway through the class, everyone's having fun and everyone has let their guard down. No one's trying to be cool. No one, like you can't because you've all just spent 5 minutes being animals or something stupid. I don't know, right? But then I think you bond very quickly with these people because you've been kids with each other. And kids are very quick at making friends. And I think it's because they can just play and there isn't all these layers of societal pressure. I don't know what it is. Yeah, that disconnect. I don't know exactly why. And I think it's just that, like, it's just adults getting to be kids, and it's honestly like, you bond with each other so quickly. And it's the same thing, we see lots of actors who have done things that have ended up really good friends. They've ended up lovers or whatever. And people often ask, like, oh, do you fall in love with your co-stars and blah, blah, blah. And the truth is, like, you do, like, you really do, but more in the sense of like just love. Like most I have worked with, like I did this movie last year, came out recently. It's called All My Friends Are Dead. It's a horror movie. It's a horror. It's a horror. I don't know. I feel like it's a dark comedy in a way. And I honestly we all fell in love with each other, like just so quickly because everyone was so playful and and people were improvising bits and pieces, and when we were together, we were just cracking jokes nonstop, and there was just like that kind of connection straight away. Um, and even outside of that, working on other projects and whatnot, you're being vulnerable in front of each other, and you're going through something together. You can't help but bond. To be honest, you can't help but bond with like everyone on the project because, well, I can't, because you're creating something all together and it's a big joint effort. But then, yeah, the other actors especially, because they're just big kids, so you kind of can't help it. But yeah, I like that, with improv, there's a place where people can go and do that. And I think, yeah, if you're someone who's just like wanting to put yourself out there a little bit, or you're struggling to make friends in the normal ways, it's like go do something like that where you get to let your guard down.
Well, I love that because all of us have fear, and like all of us have fears of being rejected or not enough or whatever it is. And just running away from those fears is not going to transform them, but leaning into them, getting acquainted with them, playing with them is where things start to shift. And I love that you presence that fear is never going to go away. we're always going to meet it at whatever junctures we're in, but it's more about, do we know how to dance with it when it comes? And
I'm dancing with it right now.
Yeah.
I am. I'm like, I don't do many of these things,
Yeah.
and
you're doing great.
Thanks, Jesus. Yeah, I don't often do these sorts of things where I'm me, so I'm okay with me. I think I used to be better at this sort of thing, just being me. But like the lead up to being on this, I'm just like, oh fuck, like you can't help, that part of the brain just goes like, how can we keep you safe? So it's just like, what's going to go wrong? And am I going to be able to put two words together? Like, am I going to get over my fucking tongue? Am I going to shit in the bed with the technology? Yes, I am.
And this
yes,
is
I am,
the thing.
and yes, I did.
And that's okay, because most things are just figure outable. And I think that's what we forget when we get caught in that thread of fear, is that it, like, life becomes so insular in those moments where we're not actually open to the field of possibility. And in that field of possibility, all the solutions come through and things become figure out we tap that creative faculty within ourselves. And when you were talking about in improv and even in the films that you've done where everyone's falling in love with each other, like not necessarily in a romantic sense, but like there is this deeper thread of intimacy that is being developed, that can only happen because there's an openness that everyone kind of agrees to. Like you can't actually be a powerful creator, whether you're an actor, an artist, a musician, whatever you're creating, you can't actually create your craft without being open and allowing the space to be connectable through your art or through your expression. And so you put a bunch of people in a room who are literally open and connectable, and they're in service to this thing that they're creating. Of course, there's going to be love that flows there. And of course, there's also going to be fear that flows there. And like, you can't really eradicate one without embracing the other. And like, I don't even know why you would want to eradicate it, because, that feeling of fear, at least for me, it's always a reminder of like, oh, this is what it feels like to feel alive. Like, I'm feeling really alive, even though like I might be hyper aroused, I might be like really triggered, or might be like off the rails a little bit. I'm feeling myself. And whether
hyper
it's
aroused and feeling yourself. Good start to a threesome. Yep.
The three-way, we're right on brand. But it's true.
I was hyper aroused and I was feeling myself.
I was feeling myself. And it's one of those things that if we lean into it and we stop making it wrong, and I think conversations like this are so important because it starts to normalize. And I fucking hate that word. It's so overused these days. But
oh my God. Yeah.
It's the true thing. The more we can talk about it and leave people thinking that, oh wait, maybe I'm not a fuck up, or maybe I'm not alone inside of that. Like, oh, these people that I might put on a pedestal, they feel that too. Oh shit, like maybe there is a way that I can move with this part of myself in a more reverent way. And also, like, if we want to generate more love in our lives, whether that's in the projects that we do or in the people that we have around us, that thread that you touched on of openness, playfulness, creativity is such a key vehicle to creating those really solid bonds. And you and I have been friends for 7 years, and like, even with like these spaces and pockets where we don't talk, or you went back to Australia and we didn't see each other for a few years, and then you come back here and we just drop in lockstep, like no time had passed. And I think that comes down to how much silliness and playfulness we coded into our relationship from the beginning. Like, we were ridiculous, and like just having the most fun that we could possibly have, like going out to the playground at like 2 a.m. and playing grounders and chicken goggles in the fucking fields. Like, we just gave ourselves permission to be childlike and playful, and it really solidified the bond. And that solidification allows the bond of the connection to evolve and shift and change, and you don't need to like grip it so tight. So like, there are so many additional threads that you hit on here without even maybe realizing you were hitting on them, but I want to presence them for our audience, because it's not just about like listening with that linear lens. It's about listening with that more expanded lens of like, how do we apply this in other areas of our life as well? So
no, it did make me think about our friendship, about how it doesn't matter how much time goes in between. And hilariously, we live so close to each other as well. So it's so funny about that. Like, like so much time goes by, but I just don't care. I don't really. It's the same thing with my good mates back home. Like, it might be months, it could be a year that I have we don't speak or whatever, and then you get, as soon as you connect, I just treat you the same. It's just like we're mates. And that there's always going to be that connection and love. I don't know. When people have spent a lot of time away from each other, I don't get that like there might be maybe a bit of awkwardness. I don't know.
Well, I think it happens if you weren't like totally in resonance with each other and like on a soul level. And also sometimes people just outgrow each other. Like they move in different directions, they make different choices. But I think if
Oh,
there is that like foundation of openness from the start and playfulness that literally roots you, like I don't think that you can really lose those types of connections, because that it's such a pure point of entry, like where the two soul that sounded really sexual.
I'm like keep going.
Go. Yeah.
Just keep going.
Talk about how you were. I think you were also talking about how you were gripping it before. I don't know.
You guys can't see my hands right now, so you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, Christine's having a little diddle over there.
Let's keep that above board, please.
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah, keep that camera above waist. Yeah.
Can't see. Business casual.
No, you have fun, mate. You have fun down there. Whatever.
I got
live your life. Treat yourself.
Don't judge myself. Don't you judge me. I'm just joking. Julian, can we ask you some unhinged questions?
Yeah. I thought we already were.
I know. Well, this is kind of like a fun little rapid fire.
No. Yeah, okay, go. Great.
We don't have any prepared, but we'll off the cuff, just like,
Scene will off the cuff.
Before we do, I just had a thought, Christine, which was like along those lines, which was like, yeah, I think we've only met a few times years ago when you had the gym, and we met through my buddy Steve, who was coaching there. And it's just so cool to see you connect with Kelsey, because Kelsey randomly mentioned you a while back, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a random, fitness world into this world. So it's really cool to see this side of you that I was unaware of, but we didn't know each other on any kind of deeper level. But it is really cool to just see, like, now that you've sold that and you're moving more into this area.
Yeah.
It's just cool, because we can't help but kind of go pigeonhole people, go like, oh, that's the fitness person.
100%.
Like, people still at the gym, they think I'm the fitness guy, and then they see me with my hat off, and they're like, who are you? Right? Literally
100%.
and figuratively, actually. Then they're like, what? You're in a movie? Like,
yeah, like, they turn on Netflix.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Is that my fucking, did you just tell me to do one squat, one fucking, or pike my hips up? Like, what the fuck just happened?
10 burpees?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I should listen to that guy when he's teaching me how to kettlebell swing.
Totally. Fuck.
He knows what's up.
He knows what's up. It is, what, I love that you pointed that out, Julian, because honestly, it is so true. Like, when I was in the fitness world, for so long, Lululemon ambassador, like, people were just like, oh, she's this. And then in 2019, or 2018, when I had a crazy like health crisis, basically my soul was like, get fucked. You're not meant to do this all the time. You need to move into this. I was like forced into running retreats, started a coaching business in 2019. But it was interesting to see people, like, even now when they're like, oh, so you sold the gym, and like, so you're coaching now? They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm coaching. They're like, oh, cool. Like fitness coaching. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I really haven't claimed that yet. I'm definitely more in the process of that, but it's fascinating to see, like you said, how people are kind of like, she's the owner of the studio and she's in fitness. And that's like, I can see how the world of Kelsey and I would be like, huh? Like, the fuck? But yeah, it's interesting. It's fascinating. But I really want to do some rapid fire questions. I don't know you that well. I'm gonna just make them up.
Makes this even funnier. I can't wait. I've got the popcorn. I'm gonna watch. See what happens here.
Okay. What are you most afraid of? First answer. Don't go too much. Don't go into your head. I want to know, like, what's the first thing that comes in?
Oh, Jesus. Most afraid. Oh, there's too many things coming to my mind, Christine.
Just fire them off. Just fire them off then. Just be fucking random. Just like whoop,
okay.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Love, loss, death, and taxes.
That sounds like your podcast title.
Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, Jesus,
I'd fucking listen to that. I'd fucking be all over that. Jesus Christ, I'd be all over that. That sounds fucking amazing.
If it's got taxes in the title, I'm not listening to it.
Well, it's like the dark thing that a lot of people don't like to do and put off, and then it gets them all stressed out. I love it. Yeah, totally. I love it. Okay. Who's your celebrity crush?
Ooh. Okay, Natalie Portman.
Love it. She's
There's
hot.
a few. There's a few.
Okay, hold on. Who do you want to fuck and who do you want to marry?
Jesus Christ.
I know. Don't worry, barely anybody's listening. I'm just kidding. There's like people from 35 countries. But keep going. Tell us.
Celebrities?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whenever people ask this one, I never know what to fucking say.
There's no right or wrong answer though. You could be like, I want to fuck Barney. I don't know. I'd be like, sweet, okay, great.
Who's a very fuckable celebrity right now? Okay, I can't name a name, but if you're funny and you're a brunette, then yes.
So you want to fuck me is what you're saying. Okay, keep going. Okay.
In a roundabout way.
Totally. All right. Well, I'll head over to your place later. Okay. No, I'm joking. Okay.
And
Okay.
marry probably the same thing. Oh, here's one. Hannah Simone from New Girl.
Fuck or
Actually,
marry or both?
Actually, both. Just
Okay.
listen, the whole cast of New Girl, to be honest. Have you guys
Yeah.
watched that show?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm straight by the way, but Adam Brody.
Oh, yes. Adam Brody
Marry.
is definitely the marry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jake
marry.
Gyllenhaal is definitely the fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Especially
Nice.
in Southpaw. Yeah. Well played.
Yeah. Yum.
Kelsey, do you need a moment? I can't see your hand.
Yeah.
I can see one hand. You can do a lot with just one.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even need hands.
Oh my God. On our tequila talks, Kels, I mean, if we went totally fucking X-rated rogue, we could get those like vibrators that we could turn on for each
Oh,
other, you know,
God.
and then we just fucking
Oh.
fuck with each other. We're in the middle of the podcast. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Okay. Anyways.
Oh God.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Julian's like, Jesus Christ, get me off this fucking podcast. Where are you dying to travel to next? What's on your bucket list?
To be honest, I'm just dying to go home. This is a boring answer maybe, but I'm dying to go home to meet my nephew.
Aww.
Yeah, I've got a little niece who's 6, and then my nephew Frankie was just born 5 months ago. So yeah, I just want to meet him. But more to what you're getting at, probably I haven't been to anywhere in South America, and so honestly, yeah, anywhere in South America where there's also surf, that would be epic. You know, like Brazil would be cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay. And then last question, or maybe Kelsey's question.
No, I'm good.
Fuck, what was I gonna ask you? Just had it.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. No, what's like a super fucking random quirk that somebody would never guess about you?
Quirk.
Or like something fucking like maybe you're like, I'm obsessed with great white sharks. People are always like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I'm so obsessed. I don't know. I watch Shark Week all the time. Like, what's like, is there something funny? Is it something like you like to eat? Is it something you like to do? Is it like somebody's about to date you and they're like, holy fuck, he does this. Okay, this is fascinating.
But can I ask Kelsey what she thinks it is?
Oh God, what I think the quirk is?
And I'm trying to think what they are. What are my quirks? I have tons. Like, listen to my laugh. It's out there.
I feel like it would be easier for me to answer if we had ever been roommates, but because we've never been roommates, I think quirks tend to come out when you're in close proximity to people.
Yeah, we should ask my housemate, but he's away at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to do a dial-in podcast. Excuse me, can you tell us?
Call in.
Or it could be even something just like random that somebody would never, like they watch you on the show, or they, they're in your class and they just wouldn't maybe guess it about you. It could be a personality trait. It could be something funny you do, some random thing you like.
God, these questions are tough, Christine.
I
don't know.
I know. This is why I like to catch people off guard, because I don't really,
What's a quirk? I guarantee you, like, if you ask any of my friends, they would just be like, oh, this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't know that it's like weird, or not like weird, but you don't know it because you just like kind of do it.
Yeah, it doesn't stand out to me. Apparently when I'm watching movies and TV shows, I react like quite a lot, but I didn't know that.
It's kind
I
of like
love
when
it.
you watch sports. When we were, what were we
Yeah, yeah,
watching? Yeah. And also
yeah.
sometimes when
AFL.
you laugh and like you do this like "Ah!" like this like big like thing before you start
Yeah.
laughing.
I think
It's
that's probably the main one that I'd warn somebody if we're dating. Like, just letting you know, like, my laugh can be a delight, like a delayed explosion of one
yes.
sound.
Yes.
And I don't know what that is, why it is like that. But I remember like making my niece cry when she was a baby, and my sister was like, Julian, I'm like, I can't help it, it's my laugh. But it's just this delayed, like, I can't even do it without, you know,
Yeah, you
can't do
can't
it
put
on
it on. It
purpose.
just happens. It just
Hard to,
happens.
yeah. Like I did a table read for a movie yesterday, and it's sort of like, it's just like a second after the joke hits. There's a delay to it, and I don't know why. And it's not necessarily that I'm slow, it's just that like it's building. I think it's,
Hey, you
it's
guys,
like
I'm trying not to sound dirty, but like the more you're talking, I'm just imagining being like shot in the face, like by like, you know what, like I just an ejaculation. You're like, it's like this building, and then it just
yeah,
shoots out at you, and you're just like, ah, like I can.
yeah, it comes out of nowhere.
Comes out of nowhere.
Shot in the dark.
Shot
Here.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
surprising for everybody.
Mhm.
Large and loud and aggressive and
Oh man,
Yeah.
so good,
okay.
so
Well,
good.
just gonna cut
But
up the
fun,
questions.
but
before-
fun. Most people have enjoyed it.
Right? How could they not?
Yeah. So it's not like, yeah, I don't think it's put anyone off. I do snort sometimes. I guess that's a bit of a trait, is like I feel like my laughs, I don't just have one laugh. I have like
Mm.
the big half. I've got a snort,
Mm-hmm.
giggle, like if someone's tickling me, I don't let anyone tickle me. I don't let anyone tickle me, let's be honest, because that's just fuck.
Wait, what? What did you say? I don't let people tickle me because that's fucked. Is that what you said?
What about like tickle you with a feather?
I'm not trying to make any innuendo. I'm just saying that.
Oh my god.
Zero innuendo. If you try and tickle me, that's fucked. Like fuck off. Don't try and tickle me.
Oh,
I don't like
being
being tickled either.
I
We've got-
hate being
I
tickled.
hate it.
And it's because I'm so ticklish. I shouldn't be telling anyone this.
Well, now the whole world knows.
Everyone comes
Like-
up on set. Tickle, tickle.
And it's the most frustrating feeling because outwardly I look happy and I'm giggling or laughing or whatever,
Yep.
so I'm tickled, which is a normal response. Inwardly, I'm furious.
Yeah, raging.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm raging. So I think it's the epitome of crazy because it's like happy but angry. You know,
Yeah.
like the Joker.
Yeah,
That guy was probably just tickled too much as a child, you know?
I think he was. I think he was. Like, what part of you is the most ticklish?
None of your business.
Come on, tell me.
No,
I'm not going to tickle you. I hate being tickled.
I mean,
Hips under your
just
arm.
like, you know,
Hips?
like,
Did you say hips?
Yeah,
No, I
like
didn't say anything yet.
no, me. I did. You know when you like, when you kind of like, it's on like the sides, like kind of like the sit, like
Really?
Well,
For me,
that's
it's like
Oh.
my feet or my armpits.
yeah, like below the armpit, like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, me, it's just like stomach and middle,
Middle
like
chest,
neck to hips.
torso.
That's the word for it.
Yeah.
We should put that on your dating profile. You touch. I'm gonna
Ticklish neck to hips.
Yeah.
totally. You fucking tickle me, I'll punch you in the face. highly triggered by tickling.
I've got a question for you guys. That you've brought up dating apps, so that's not much to talk about. No, here's I just had this idea, like, to ask you guys. Do you think, because I'm not on the dating apps, but maybe one day,
Either.
Not either.
do you think, yeah, because it's the devil, but no, I'm joking. But do you think that a good profile for someone is to like fully write out, you know, like what they want and, you know, kind of their deal breakers or whatever, but like what they're ready for and just fully go for it? Because I remember like when I was on there, it's just like people just write a few like cute little things so they don't
Mhm.
seem too serious or whatever.
Right.
What
I
do you
personally would
guys?
go like
Yeah.
balls to the wall. I would be like the most unhinged, like saying every single thing that I want, everything that I stand for, everything that's a yes for me. I wouldn't put so much like don't contact me if da 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 da.
Oh yeah. Because
I don't like those because then it's like
rigid.
focusing on what you don't want. Instead, I would rather construct this is what I do want and this is what I am looking for. And, don't fuck it up. That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
I was thinking about that the other day. Just like one day, if I ever do get back on there, like that, I would just fully put it all out there because I think it's the best way to just be like,
Mhm.
you just without even swiping, the people that are
Yeah,
swiping on you, they're going to filter themselves out.
100%.
Someone that's not ready for a connection is going to filter themselves out.
Exactly. Exactly. And if someone like sees that profile and they're like, wow, I kind of want to fuck with her, be like, try. Like, we'll go on one date and I'll see right through you. Like, hard pass. Like, and I think that's why it's
I
such
don't think that they would though. I don't think
I don't think
anyone
they
would.
would either, and I think it's such a good filter, I think, to lead with your authenticity and be upfront. Again, there's so many fucking bullshit teachings out there about polarity,
Oh,
masculine, feminine, all this fucking nonsense. And so it has women being in this collapsed position of like not claiming and backing what they actually want. And so you see a lot of women being like, oh yeah, I'm just like looking for something casual, or like I just want to date, when really what they actually want is to get married and have kids and have that on a 3-year timeline. So why not just say that? Or if they just want to
yeah,
fuck and they just want to have like a play partner, just say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And whatever it is that you want is totally fine. We're all consenting adults here. So just lead with the truth, and you're more likely to get someone who's aligned with the truth, that's aligned with your authenticity.
If you're looking for a threesome on a podcast, then just say
Say
it.
it. Just say it.
Just say
That's my
it.
answer.
Love it. Yeah. I'm not on any dating apps, but I think I'd probably do the same thing. I'm also pretty fucking out. Like I'm pretty polarizing. I think people would either eat that shit for breakfast or they'd be like, get fucked. Like I don't think I would have a super vanilla description.
Mhm. I
Also
like
fuck.
long walks on the beach and
You're
sushi
gonna
for
say in the
dinner.
dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the dark.
In the dark is kind of fun.
That it's one of my favorite things to do. Long walks in the dark. I do them
I've
almost
seen you
every
do
day.
it. I've
I
ridden my
know.
bike past you and
I
you're
know.
walking in the
It's true. We've collided a few times.
dark.
Oh my
Okay,
God, I love
Jules,
it.
if you were to leave our audience with one last nugget of wisdom, one last blessing for them or insight, what would you want to say?
Nugget of wisdom. Sheesh. Um, First thing I guess it makes me think is that I think before coming on this, and like what Christine was mentioning too about like kind of being in the grid of it this year, um, I guess I've been feeling like I should wait until I'm there to be able to share on all this sort of stuff. And I think it's just another trick, another trap
Mm,
of like hiding. So I think
mm,
I think whenever I get the opportunity, it's not about saying yes to everything, of course, but and maybe this is sort of just on brand with some of the stuff we've been getting at already, which is just like, yeah, maybe just challenging the fear and just
mm.
and like unfortunately that's in every self-help book you've ever read, feel the
Yep.
fear and do it anyway. Um, but yeah, there's just nothing quite like um the doing of something that is quite scary and nerve-wracking. Um, there's um there's an acting workshop coming up this weekend that I'm assisting at, and it's just so intense. And the reason why it's so intense is because the exercises you end up doing are just the opposite to what your ego wants you to do. And Kels, I think we've spoken about this workshop before, and you do, I think, similar stuff with your clients and everything. But it's, actually, there's just something that happens like physiologically or something when you're literally doing the thing that your ego is saying, like, don't do. That is freeing because when you survive it, your ego is like, oh, okay, we didn't die. Good, good, that's good. We didn't die. I guess I'm safe to do that. And it's not like you're safe. The fear doesn't completely go away, but it just feels like there's freedom. I don't know, anything that can kind of grant you that bit of freedom, I think is just really great. And that's why I'm talking about, like, advocating for, improv or acting or some kind of creativity or whatever it is, putting yourself outside your comfort zone, is freedom. It's freeing.
It really is. Like the day that Christine and I went to a pottery class and we made booby cups, and that was outside of our comfort zone, and it was so fun. I was terrible. I don't know how yours turned out, but mine is trash. But it was so fun, and it was one of those things that my perfectionism would normally stop me from doing something that I'm not good at. And like I would kind of practice it in the shadows and practice it on my own until I'm really good, and then be like, yeah, let's go to a workshop, and then like bring out like the best mug of all time. And so like I love this.
Nipples on the titties ever.
Exactly. It's actually really fucking hard to make good titties on the mug. It's not an easy thing. Like, no. I have so much respect for people who make titty mugs now, because it is not an easy And also like leaning into those spaces. Like I definitely had fear going into that, which is crazy when I think about it. Like it's a pottery class. Like it's not life or death, but like in my system, it was like, I don't know. And so I love that that's, the thread.
It can be so many different things too. Like, for some people, it's fitness. It is like they want to go to the gym, but they are too afraid to, whatever reason. I remember that a long time ago, that feeling of that. But like I've been in that world now for so long, where it's like I can't imagine ever feeling like I wouldn't, like I can't just go up to the street to go do free weights or go to a class somewhere. Like, but people do have a block there of some kind. And then, ramping all the way up to like things like I've got a buddy who has never been to therapy, but he wants to, but it's been months and months of just like procrastinating on it. And I don't know how to get him there. It's up to him, but that feeling, the procrastination, the resistance isn't going anywhere. And it's such a funny thing to, everyone has that experience, I think, of like, and I had it too, with therapy. But like after your first session of therapy, you're just like, oh, why haven't I been doing this for years?
The whole time.
This is very, very helpful. Who would have thought?
Totally. Well, Kelsey and I talk about this a lot in the club. We'll just wrap this up, but it's just that our nervous system, you say ego, but like it's really our nervous system. It has experiences and it has protective parts, and all it's doing, it's like a little special ops team that is constantly trying to keep us safe, and safe is familiar. So anything that's unfamiliar is literally clocked in our system as unsafe. So whether it's an acting class, whether it's a therapy, it's like there's a part of us that wants us to stay exactly where we are. And so doing those disconfirming experiences, like you're saying, is like going and having the experience, moving through the fear and having that moment where you're like, holy fuck, I didn't die. And then tending to yourself afterwards and like being very intimate with yourself of like, that was really scary. What do I need right now to like calm me down? Is like really beautiful, because it kind of like soaks in the experience without kicking us into more dysregulation afterwards. So it's like, so I think this is, people always say like, how do I move forward? I have these blocks. I'm like, it's not about not having the blocks, because we will never rid ourselves of fear. We don't want to. Why? Like our survival, our nervous system it gives zero fucks about whether you're a lead actor in an Oscar or you get an Oscar, or Kelsey and I have the biggest impactful club on the planet. It doesn't give two fucks about how much money we make or how much we're in love. It's like, how do I keep you safe and how do you not die? So that's, we're fighting. Our soul is like, let's expand and bring all these beautiful things into our lives. Nervous system is like, how do I keep you safe? And so when we understand that like nothing's bad or wrong, we don't have, it's really normal to have those experiences and that resistance. And when we can see it with the lens of compassion and like, oh, there's just a part of me who's really afraid. It's just afraid. It's super scary to do different things. And I think when we can go in with that, where we're like intimate with and holding hands with that part versus trying to eradicate it and be mad at it, there's a lot more unison. There's a lot less resistance that comes on. So I think that's like, it's beautiful to, you know what I mean? To have that where it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me that I have resistance. There's nothing wrong with me that I'm afraid of. You know, the first time I did an Instagram live, I was like crazy red chest and sweating and like that's my system's very strong protective part saying, Christine, when you were younger, you were humiliated. Christine, when you were younger, people laughed at you. So like, of course, my body is going to have a really intense reaction to something where I'm being seen. Like even group fitness, you said earlier about, you know, going up and talking, like that was a huge activator for me of using my voice, because the thought of going in front of a group of 15 people and teaching them and leading them, I wanted to vomit. Like every time I went to training, I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to vomit. I can't handle this. And like, it was one of the most transformative things for me to be able to now speak on a podcast like that. I didn't realize at the time, but that me teaching group fitness was the massive activator for me to be able to use my voice, which I was able to open a fitness studio, coach, now podcast with Kelsey, and speak more authentically. But it's like, we never really understand the path. It doesn't sometimes make sense until all of a sudden we get more into our purpose and we're like, oh, fuck me. Okay. That all makes sense. Like everything makes perfect sense. So
mic drop.
That was it, Christine.
Yeah. So Jules, where can everyone find you if they want to connect with you?
Viva Coffee Shop, U Street. I'll be at the bar.
Yeah.
No. Instagram. I'm on
Number
Instagram.
5 orange.
Okay, great. Oh, so good.
Just my name on Instagram if people want to, be on there and see me be an idiot on there. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm TikTok as well, but I don't know. I'm using that less and less. I just deleted it today. Need a break. Need a break,
like,
guys.
Fuck this platform. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck all of it.
Okay. Well, we'll link it. We'll link to your Instagram. I'll also link to your TikTok in case they want to check that out. And and we'll also maybe put a couple little links to your movies so that they can go and watch you in action. And thank you for being here today. Thank you for saying yes, for leaning into that fear, and for showing up and for sharing so openly. We love you so much.
Yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, friends, listen back next week for another new episode. And if you like today, please rate and follow and subscribe and all of that juicy goodness. And if you're really feeling the vibe to get into the club doors are currently open, so you can come on in. This only happens twice a year, and it's kind of a big deal. So if you're feeling the vibes, now is the time, because we're not even going to tell you when they're going to open again next. So now is the time. And we love you, and we will see you all next week. Bye, friends. All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating, and we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.